Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm finally reviewing Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion season 1 episode 11, and this is called Ultra Flake, and I know it says Ultra Friend right there, but that just what I decided to call the clip. So yes, I'm finally getting around to doing this, and so yeah, I'm planning on doing episode 11 today, on Wednesday, and tomorrow on Thursday I'm doing episode 12, and I forgot the name of the episode. Yeah, I'm sorry, and I also need to rewatch that one because it's been a while, because I rewatched this episode today, so. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? I guess an update. Well, I guess no update for the poll that I posted a few days ago. It still says Ultraviolet Black Scorpion 100%, so that's what I'm gonna continue throughout until the show's over, basically, because it's only one season. So so episode 11 today, episode 12 tomorrow. Friday is when I believe my family and I are gonna go out of town because it's Christmas break. We're gonna go, explore and stuff like that. It's gonna be. I mean, it should be fun. So we'll be away for a while. Not too long. Because again, it's out of town. It's not out of state. So that'll be Friday, Saturday, and then I think I'm not sure what time it's like somewhere around the weekend. I forget like which day, and even if I knew, it's better not to say it on the internet, like, just in case. So but anyway, it's like somewhere around the weekend that I should be back, and usually after a trip, even if it's a short trip, I like to recuperate a little bit. So I would most likely do episode 13 on Monday, because that way when I get around somewhere in the weekend, I'll take a day or so to rest, and so I can get back to this. So so Monday will be episode 13, Tuesday will be episode 14, and hopefully these will be daily, but sometimes I need like a mental break, so I might like take a day or so, but this is what I'm hoping for. Episode 13, episode 14, episode 15 on Wednesday, episode 16 on Thursday. Wait, no, right, episode 16 is the last episode, so Thursday. So hopefully, if I do get episode 11 done today and episode 12 done tomorrow, and then from next week, Monday through Thursday, I do Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion daily, Thursday should be the last day for it, and we'll say our goodbyes for it, and yeah. Yeah. I've been kind of thinking, it's been a while since I talked about this. I think I talked about it when I was doing my Amphibia series finale review. I was kind of talking about how I would make a video about end of era 1. I was thinking maybe I should just do it because of Amphibia, but I was thinking maybe I'll do it with Amphibia, The Owl House, and Big City Greens, since they were like the first 3 shows. But now I'm kind of thinking it's gonna be a while before Big City Greens ends, because it just like kind of 1 or 2 more seasons and a movie is coming up, and Ultraviolet Black Scorpion has already ended, sadly. So I'm kind of thinking, and The Owl House is gonna end soon also. So see, this is where a live stream will be good, even though comments are kind of coming in more than it used to, and I am grateful for that. But I think if I did a live stream when I figure it out, um, I think it'd be kind of easier to kind of communicate with you guys more, kind of, because I have an idea of what I want to do, but I also want your opinions, saying like, would you want me to do like a end of an era when I get through all these three first shows, and then era two would be, um, The Ghost and Mom McGee, Secrets of Silver Springs, and Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion. That would be era two. And in the beginning of era three would be the new show. Um, yeah. Hmm. So I'm just thinking about that. And I have no idea when Secrets of Sulphur Springs or The Ghost of Mom McGee, when that's going to end, because I definitely know this is season 2 for The Ghost of Mom McGee, but I'm not sure it's going to be season 3. And Secrets of Sulphur Springs is kind of unpredictable, because I'm kind of thinking, oh, will there be season 2? And there was a cliffhanger season 1, and we got into season 2. And season 2, there was a cliffhanger for season 2. And I'm not sure when season 3 is going to come, but they haven't canceled it yet, so fingers crossed it will come. And I have no idea if season 3 is going to have a cliffhanger also. And maybe they won't have a season 4. They'll have like a movie or something. I don't know. So I'm kind of thinking, should it? Hmm. Because I kind of like the idea of these three shows that kind of started, together. The Owl House, Amphibia, and Big City Greens kind of started together. So it would be kind of nice to kind of do like a farewell to when they all end. But that means that video's not going to come for like a long time, which isn't like a bad thing. So, so I'm gonna think about it a little bit more. But when I figure out this whole live stream thing out, it'd be good to kind of talk to you guys like within the comments of it. I don't know. I think it might work. I don't know. um, um, hmm. Okay. I think that's all really wanted to talk about before I started this review. So hopefully this intro, before the thing before I started the review, hopefully hasn't been too long. So without further ado, let's get started. And this moment in the clip isn't until like a while, so Okay. So the first thing is, and it's good to be back with the show. And what I really appreciate about the show is, one, family, and two, a mentor and a trainee or like an apprentice. And I like it when the hero trains, because there are some shows where it shows like the hero trains either little or not at all. So it's really good to see Violet Country. Even though she's a teenager, she jokes a lot. Sometimes it's kind of not funny, but also sometimes it is kind of funny. But I like how Black Scorpion and Ultraviolet are, he's training her. I like that. So they kind of have to visit her. Okay, like what's going on? And then Black Scorpion's like, remember, you have to stay still. And then Violet obviously has to talk, and she's like, oh, like, do I really have to stay still? And it's like, yes, because, oh man, what did he say? Um, he was saying something like, being still can be, a, an advantage. That's basically what he was like saying, and basically she's kind of like, whoa, what, like, yeah, super speed, so like I'm so fast that I'm like practically still. And Black Scorpion's like, that's dumb. Like I would never say that. And the ringtone, I don't really like the ringtone. I think the first couple times I've seen that episode, I kind of tolerated it, but now I kind of don't like it. It's like Maya, it's Maya, it's Maya. It keeps on playing constantly, and I'm, oh my gosh, stop the ringtone. But I think that was like the whole point during like the fight sequence. It was like meant to be like kind of annoying. So I guess mission accomplished if that's what they were trying to do. But I do have to agree with Violet like a little bit. The first time I watched the episode, I was kind of okay. It is a bit catchy, but after a while, oh no, thank you. But before we get to that point, And then Black Scorpion's like don't answer that. And Violet, words. Oh my goodness. Violet says, but Black Scorpion, what if it's an emergency? Like, you're 13, you two teenagers, there would be no emergency. I kind of disagree with Black Scorpion here, especially since he answered his phone and it's like, oh, it's Catalina. Because that's his girlfriend they're dating now. That's pretty cool. Cool continuity. And then and she's like, why you answer your phone? And he's like, it could be important. She could be in danger. Oh my goodness. Like what a hypocrite. And I'm not saying he can't have flaws, but because what if she wasn't, but what if Maya was in serious trouble? Especially since you had to save her, right? Or was she in the background? No, he saved Violet, but Maya was in a dangerous situation, and you actually called her out saying, I can't believe you dragged your friend into this and she almost got hurt. Like, yeah. Like, and now, she's kind of worried that, like, she could be in trouble. Black Scorpion saying, like, oh, you're two teenagers, you're not going to get into any trouble. Criminals can come from anywhere, and they can go to any place. And and if the live streaming thing, because that's what Violet used to do, she kind of stopped, but that's what she kind of used to do with her live stream, saying like, oh, I'm like a new superhero, like, look at my selfies and stuff like that. And Black Sword kept saying it's dumb, you're gonna get in trouble, and her identity almost got out because of Luis and stuff. And I'm kind of excited for him to come back. And so I'm kind of wondering if that's going to come back, because maybe Maya would be in danger. Maybe. But besides that, so he answers the call and saying like, oh, hi, Catalina. He's making all those cute noises. And saying like, oh, like, hey. And he's like, oh, yeah, sorry I can't meet with you. I'm, cleaning the gym. Is it no, I didn't lose my mouth guard there. Is it okay, love you, bye. Like, mwah. And she's like, she's kind of making fun of him for it. I'm kind of glad she is, because yeah, it's kind of dumb, but it's also kind of sweet. Like, oh, you're talking all cute to your girlfriend, and he's like, no, I don't make kissing noises, and he just does like the shadow disappear thing, and she's like, okay, whatever, and then she basically, it's school time now, and it's like the next day, because that was nighttime, so it's the next day. And Violet, this is where she said like, Maya, it's Maya, like, something's really catchy, and she's kind of mad because I guess Violet didn't call her back, so I guess she kind of got home late, saying, look, I know, I got back, sorry, I got back home late, and I'm sorry I didn't call you back, sorry, Black Scorpion and I had training to do, and she's like, wish you at least called me, but it's whatever now. And so like, oh, I'm sorry, like, can you just please tell me now? I'm like, I'm sorry. And she's like, okay. And I guess she got accepted to this gaming tournament, and that's pretty cool, Maya. I kind of wish we saw the tournament, but that wasn't like the main part of the story, so I kind of get why they didn't show it. So this is a point where I don't take off any points, because it's something where if it's not important to the story, but it would have been cool to see, then that's fine. Like, it's kind of like, well, I guess this was important. I was gonna say like for the Owl House, was it season 2 episode 9? Well, what was it? Eclipse Lake. It was important to the story or anything. Well, I guess it kind of was, but I guess spoilers were. I thought it was gonna be like an epic minecart chase scene, and King was actually hyping us up for it. And then when we actually get to it, King was like saying, oh, I can't believe we missed on it. I was like, yes, King. Yeah, and everyone got like obliterated because, and Amity got her palisman back, and then Amity went to check on Hunter, and Hunter was kind of going crazy. That was kind of funny. But, so yeah, so it wasn't like that where I was like, it would have been cool to see the tournament and Maya like, trying to catch up with Luis and like her trying her best, but it wasn't important to the story and didn't bug me too much, so it's fine. But sorry, I'm sorry. I'm talking out of order for the episode. It's been a while since I talked about this show. And so basically she's saying that, I can't believe I got accepted, and I'm really nervous. And she's like, oh, don't be nervous, And then Luis comes in, poof, hand on the locker, and he has these gloves. It has LL for Louis Vuitton, and they're like different colors. And so saying, "Oh, Maya, I heard you were gonna compete against me, cute," because he's like a champion, and well, he's a champion online basically. And it's like, "Oh wait, you compete?" It's like, and even Violet was kind of like, "Oh, I didn't know you competed." And it's like, "I'm a man of many talents." Yeah, you got that right. And he's like, and obviously he's full of himself. He's like, I don't like to brag, but I can like make this, I can bake this thing, and I played the, what was it, the trombone or something. And I guess I'll do like to brag. Okay, sure, dude. And and then even Maya notices. Maya is very observant. She's like, oh, he's wearing compressed gloves, and then Violet's like, okay, whatever. Like, he's wearing fingerless gloves. Oh, he thinks he's so cool. It's like, Maya's like, no, Violet, that's not what I'm talking about. His hands are not going to cramp. Even Luis noticed, like, oh, hey, Maya, you better rest up those hands because they were already starting to look a little weak. Obviously, he's doing it to kind of get inside her head, but that is kind of true because I was kind of noticing her hands too. It's like, yeah, I kind of need to rest those hands up, Maya, like for training purposes. And, you know, and then, what was it? But Violet's kind of like, oh, like, don't worry about him. And Maya's like, no, I need to be as fast as him, or I can be fast as. And Violet's thinking the same thing as Ultraviolet. Oh yeah, maybe if I can compete against you, my speedy best friend. And even sorry, I'll say what I want to say after because I don't want to spoil everything out of order. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But basically, if I catch up to my speedy best friend, I can totally beat him for sure. Is like, yes, I'll be there, I promise. And basically, we get to there's about to be like a prison breakout, I guess. They're like transporting prisoners, and basically they both have binoculars, and they're kind of like um whatever. So they both have binoculars, and they're kind of waiting for them. And Violet wants to help out Maya with their training, and she's kind of like, oh, can you guys get here faster? Like, well, what are they waiting for? An invitation? And Black Squirrel's like, oh, like the Guapos Chapos. It's a dumb name, kind of. And and it's kind of like, what are they stuck in traffic? And then it's like, oh, I have plans with Maya to help her win this tournament. I had to be there now. And then Black Squirrel's like, hey, I'm not here to stop you. And like, really? Like, you'll be okay without me? And, oh, he's kind of making fun of, oh, how would I manage without you? And this for years. And she's like, I'm offended, but I would expect this from you because you have that like sassy talk, so it's fine. So she's kind of thinking about leaving, and then that's when the Guapos Chapos arrive, and this is where the power goes out. And oh, well, what's going on? The truck arrives, and the police are about to go get the prisoners out to transport them, and then the Guapos Chapos, that name, they put these devices that seal the door so now the police can't get out, and then they're unlocking the doors and they're getting their butts out, and basically Violet keeps getting the phone ringing. Maya like, oh my goodness, like either answer the phone, put it on silent or something. And then she's like, you can go. So no, it's okay. And basically they're beating out the prisoners and stuff like that, and their friends with these blasters. Oh my goodness. And the phone rings again. Are you sure you want to go? Like, I'm good. Okay, and he's like, okay, secure the perimeter, and a couple escape, and they subdue a couple. There was one in front of Violet, and the phone rings again. Oh my goodness! And she almost gets attacked, and Black Scorpion gets the guy because there was one stuck in the truck earlier, and he couldn't get the seatbelt unbuckled for some reason, but he eventually got unbuckled. He was about to attack Ultraviolet. And and basically they lock everyone back into the truck. I wonder if I have room for the other prisoners. Well, I guess a couple escaped, so I guess it works out. Well, sort of. He's like, oh, I can't believe I let a couple get away. Oh, don't worry, we'll get them. And he said like a bad catchphrase, like a bad joke, and Violet calls him out on it. Like, no, you need to run those by me next time. And yeah, it was kind of bad. I think I'm gonna take a point off for that. Just, oh, it was good. And basically, she goes through her messages, and I guess Maya's been texting her saying like, "Hey, where are you? Why aren't you answering my calls? Hey, are you serious right now?" And it's like around like 11 o'clock. I'm not sure if it's 11 o'clock currently, but on the latest message saying like, "Are you serious right now? Don't bother coming. I'm going to bed." Because yeah, it's 11 o'clock. Like, oh my goodness, mine needs to go to bed. And she's like, oh, and even Black Storm, like he's concerned about his niece. Like, hey, are you okay? No, I'm a total Ultra Flake, and that's the name of the episode. And he's like, Maya, I'm so sorry. And then Maya is like saying like, no, don't. Let me guess. You had to stop a bunch of criminals with Black Scorpion. And she's like, yeah, and you had to admit there's a pretty good excuse. And Maya isn't trying to say that it's not a good excuse. The fact is that you totally flaked out on me. Like, you could have called me back. You could have, texted me. Even though she said she was going to bed, like at least like something. And, the fact is that like you promised me something and you couldn't keep it because at some point, Violet needs to realize that the superhero stuff needs to. I don't want to say it goes before friendships, but it kind of does when you're trying to protect the city. Because if because obviously I guess not anymore because the series canceled. But if you watched the episode, what was it? Was it episode 5? I forgot. It was like early episode of season 1 where we meet Duplico and we learn about the legends of the 12 Masks, basically. And basically how Black Scorpion's like, I'm training you to fight a bigger enemy, like something like, and you know, because there's good guys, there's bad guys, and there's anti-heroes, and there's a lot of people who could take advantage of you, and that's where we introduce Cascada and stuff, and like, you know, um, and like like you need to kind of saw this live streaming stuff and all this childish stuff, and you're going to be fighting like a bigger enemy. That's what he's training for. Obviously, not going to happen now, but it was like bound to happen. And so I thought Violet was kind of going to go through an arc of maybe kind of losing Maya. Um, I guess I'll talk about a little bit. I will talk about a little bit more about that like after this episode, but yeah, and it's kind of sucks for Maya because she knows about her friend's powers, and she knows that she has to stop bad guys. She knows that, and she preaches her dedication to the city. But the fact is, Violet, you kind of have to pick and choose because you should have said to Maya like, "Hey, like Black Scorpion and I are gonna go after a couple of bad guys. They're gonna be breaking out prisoners. It's gonna be a prison riot. I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm sorry." Like but there's also a couple times where Violet could have left because Black Scorpion had it handled, but she wanted to say, "You made a choice." But I'm sorry. I'm kind of speaking for Violet on her behalf, but sort of. But she said like I'm so sorry, and like but I promise like I'll be there, and she's kind of like, okay, as long as you're there for the real thing. And like obviously Louis, touche as ever, comes in with this celebrity, and he's like, oh yeah, because I am the best online, basically. My dad hired this what was it? Right, like my dad hired this guy who is super famous. He's famous everywhere. Like I'm not sure online, but he's famous like worldwide, basically. And he's like, oh, he doesn't speak to the competition. He's gonna be training me. And oh my goodness. And am I like so nervous? Like, oh, don't be nervous. And it's like, don't worry, don't worry. I've seen you before. Like you're gonna be great. Don't worry. And she's like, oh, okay. And actually, oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot about this B plot. I'm sorry. Um where basically Cruz goes into the house and he wants to plan this 2 month anniversary for him and Catalina. And you know how I said before that I didn't really like the dad all too much at the beginning, but then it started like, okay, now I'm kind of starting to like him a little bit over time. He's kind of not fully reverting because he was a full like old team Tiago, and like and he was kind of like now respecting Violet like a little bit, but that kind of changed over time. I'm not saying he fully reverted to that, but I didn't really like it how basically Catalina's like, oh, I'm so glad that because they were kind of assuming like, oh, you're here for money because your gym's failing or you're gonna screw up with Catalina. It's like, what makes you think I'm gonna screw up with Catalina? Because your history is what you do. And it's like, ugh, like no, I have a special 2 month anniversary, but I don't want to push her away. And then she's like, oh, I love this new side of you. Like you spend time with Violet. Yeah, that's the thing that they don't know about. Sort of, they know that he's spending time with her, but not superhero stuff. But yeah, what do I want to say? Or you spend time with Violet. Your dedication to Catalina is really great. But she says like a 2 month anniversary isn't really a thing. And then Cruz, not Cruz. Oh man, I forgot his name. But the dad is like, no, of course it's a thing. And like and she's like, no, you might come out too strong and you might scare her. And he's like, I don't want to scare her. Like I don't want to push her away. And then he's like, like you're not gonna scare her. And then and actually the mom, what was her name, Nina or something? She's like, I was scared, trust me. And then he's like, no, like she may say that she didn't like it, but I saw the look on her eyes and the smile on her face, and nothing makes you happier than seeing the person you love smile. And what you did say was sweet, but obviously she's saying that she was scared, and he's obviously saying like she doesn't know what she's talking about, and I don't know. I just didn't like that. Is it different interpretation? Because I wonder if you can go back in time. Who's lying? Was she actually smiling, or is he just making this up, or I don't know. I just didn't really like that. I didn't like it. But again, it was sweet saying, "Oh, nothing makes you happier to see the person you love smile like that." That's great. But the how he was kind of saying like, "Oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about," and it's kind of maybe that's the reason why the show got canceled. Maybe, who knows? um, but I don't know like the actual reason. It's all maybes. Um. So, and basically, Chris is like, okay, I'm going to go for it. And this is where we actually get to this B plot. It's kind of following. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we get to the part I was about to mention, Tiago talks to Cruz. Well, no, Cruz talks to Tiago saying, like, oh, hey, can you tell Violet I want to reach her? And, like, yeah, oh, but isn't she going to go work out at the gym tonight? You would see. He's like, oh yeah, what day is it? Thursday. I said, oh yeah, I mix up with my Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he's starting to get a little bit nervous, and Tiago's getting a little bit more suspicious. He's kind of thinking, okay, whatever Violet, like was doing, saying, basically she was saying that she was at the gym, and Tiago's saying like, no, like you weren't because I was at the gym. And he's kind of like, why are you lying? Because that was at the end of the mid-season finale. I was like, oh, things are starting to amp up. And now Tiago's kind of a little bit more suspicious of Cruz now, his uncle, saying that okay, are they in this together? Does he know? Is she in trouble? Is Cruz not protecting her, or is he protecting her? Like Tiago wants to be in the loop. He wants to know what's going on, because if that's in trouble, her older brother obviously wants to protect her, but he can't do that if he doesn't know what's going on. And I'm trying to see what comes next. Right, so this is where we actually get to the B plot I wanted to talk about with Catalina and Cruz. Cruz is like, oh hey Catalina, it's like, oh hey, and she's like, oh, like are you here for lunch today? I'm sorry, I already ate lunch and I ate at 10 in the morning. And he's like, oh wow, that's impressive. But no, I wanted to surprise you that I want to do a 2 month anniversary with you. and obviously she's kind of uncomfortable with the situation, but Cruz doesn't realize because he's like oblivious, and she's obviously not telling him. And she's like, "Oh yeah, of course it's a thing." Yeah, yeah. I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, you know, I have everything planned. All you need to do is show up." Like, and he's gonna send her the address, and she's like, "Okay, I'll be there." And like, you know, so she's kind of uncomfortable with the situation. I'm kind of thinking like, is it because the 2 month anniversary is a thing? But why doesn't he say anything? Because obviously the Nina said something, and if Catalina would have said something also, obviously Cruz would have backed off, saying, "Oh, okay, we won't do anything special like that. That's fine." Because obviously he would be understanding. So I don't know why she's kind of deflecting from him. Who knows? But let's see. We get back to Tiago, and again, he's like kind of not putting the pieces together, but he's getting more and more suspicious. I'm kind of liking that. And the dad is like microwaving pizza in a microwave. He's about to eat it. He's like saying, "Oh, like it's not too hot for burning the tongue. It's also not too cold for frozen cheese." And and then obviously I was like, "Dad," and he drops the piece like, "Yes, son, I love. Like, what do you want?" And and basically he said like, "Have you noticed anything weird with Violet?" And he's obviously going to the dad, which you kind of want to do if you think your sibling's in trouble. You kind of want to talk to a parent. We don't see that a lot. And it's like, "Have you seen anything weird with Violet?" And she's a teenager. They're all weird. You were weird. Yeah, but isn't it kind of different? And then he's obviously, "Well, like, talk to me. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean different?" And he can't explain it, but he's like, "I don't know. It's different." And he's just like, "Tiago, she's a teenager. You're a teenager. You be a teenager. Like, don't worry so much about Violet. I think you're an amazing big brother. You want to look after her, but also you need to know boundaries." And he picks up the pizza from the floor. He starts eating it. Ew. And he's like, "You're not gonna tell this about anyone. Don't tell anyone." Ew. And Tiago, I didn't like this from him. I don't think I don't think invading anyone's privacy or breaking into their phone is like okay. Like, I don't think it's okay. I guess I would say like only if you're like really really desperate. Like if she was actually serious trouble and you've been finding evidence of like like bad stuff and stuff. I won't go into any specifics, but so maybe that'll be kind of like a last resort situation. But all he knows is that she's lying. So, and she's keeping something hidden from him. She's keeping something hidden from him. But that's not okay to break into her phone. So he keeps trying attempts and oh, phone's locked. And he said, "Oh, I didn't do that." He just walks away. Like, are you? Don't do that. Well, now Violet's phone's locked. And I just want to say right now, I'm trying to remember future episodes. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this doesn't come back to haunt him. This probably would have been like a thing in season 2. Right? Doesn't. I really need to rewatch like the next episode and to see because Violet does use a phone, but I'm wondering, is that like a new phone? Did she take it to the phone store and get it replaced? But wouldn't she question why it would be locked in the first place? It seems like kind of skipped that part. So, um, hmm. So yeah, I'm taking the point out for Tiago locking her phone accidentally, but he locked her phone. And you know, he just walks away, and this is where we get to this part right here. Sorry, I wanted to get a little bit more comfortable. Oh, yeah, I was talking for a long time. I mean, this is near the end of the episode, so it makes sense. Okay, and pretty good view of the city. Pretty good view. And I just want to play this right here. Wait, sorry. I wanted to check the volume. I should have done that before, but I really like how they work together. It's pretty cool, and how that was the escaped criminal basically, and how a Black Scorpion it comes from the shadows basically. Because he's Black Scorpion, it's all smoke, and then he's like going somewhere, and then Ultraviolet like kind of trips him really fast, and how she does like a pose, pretty cool. And she's like, "Oh, it was a rhetorical question." And this guy's like he's like an idiot. But I guess he's like a minor character, so I guess it really doesn't matter. But she's like, "You're wearing an ankle monitor," and he's like, "I am." Like, no, we tracked you. Wouldn't you have noticed he was wearing an ankle monitor? Whatever, he's a dummy. And then Black Scorpion's like, "Hey, nice burn, partner." And then Violet's like, "Whoa, what did you just do right now? You called me your partner and you complimented my sick burn?" And then he's like, "I guess I did." And then she's like, "What's going on with you? Why are you so happy?" And then this is kind of weird of how he was like, maybe the one that takes it that it did, or maybe it's the feed or something. But he's kind of like, I don't know. Because earlier when I was watching the episode like through what was it, my phone, it sound came perfectly clear, but through my laptop, it was that one little thing of him talking right there where you can barely hear it. It's like a whisper. But I know it's on my laptop because everything else is fine. It's clear. So I kind of want to blame the episode, kind of. That's just so weird. Because the internet's not lacking. I checked. Right? Maybe you need to double check it. But for now, I'm going to blame the episode because... But it's so weird. On my phone, it was great. Well... I mean, I guess it isn't really a big deal, but when I was watching this clip, like, before I started recording, I watched the clip, before I started. I watched this clip before I started recording, just to get a feel for it again. And it was so weird. It was just a little whisper. Like, I don't know. It was weird. But while I was like, "Oh, it's because you're with your date with your girlfriend, isn't it?" And, "Oh, your 2-month anniversary." And the criminal's like, "That's a thing?" And then he's like, "Yes, that's the thing." And this guy, oh my goodness, he better come back. But he's like, "I've been married 5 times and that's not a thing. Yet, I've been married 5 times." And it's so funny how he's just talking about this with a criminal here. But he's not giving any specifics. He doesn't reveal her name. He doesn't reveal his name or Violet's name or Ultraviolet's name. And, or like a location, he's like, "I'm going to prepare dinner, but instead of tamales, I'm going to make some," what was it, like a stew or something? Like, connected with her Dominican roots. I'm even going to, clean all the stuff off of her roof, the pigeon poop and stuff like that. And the criminal's like, "Dang, like, you're pretty romantic. You're a real catch." And he's like, "Thank you." And then Violet's like, "Adults are so weird. But I'm gonna go home." And I definitely want to play this scene because I like the transition. I'm gonna go. Sorry, I don't want to play too much. But it says like 11:49. I like the transition. Sorry, I thought there was a design shirt. This is a plain green shirt. And then she's kind of like, "Oh no!" And she obviously takes a mask because she's late to the tournament. Sorry, I don't want a blurry image. Is that good? Yeah, I'll just leave it right there. But remember how she flaked out the first thing and the second thing, and now she's flaking out the terminal. Maybe she can catch it. She puts on the mask and she just sips down there. It's already over and she lost. And say, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry that you lost." It's not the point that I lost. You said you'd be there and you weren't. Especially since like the second time it was like really bigger fight. This thing was just catching up a criminal. I'm kind of assuming that there were kind of multiple criminals that escaped and they were catching up first. That this happened to be the last one, but she seemed to be really tired. So, but she's like I'm really sorry, and she's like, you flaked out on me again. How can I trust you? She walks out, and Violet just can't say anything. And Louise puts her arm over her, saying, like, oh, don't worry, Violet. Like you look at the bright side. Like, what's the bright side, Louise? Even if you were here, she would still would have lost. Sorry, I'm not good with this stuff. And he just leaves. What a douchebag. And, Violet goes over to Maya's house, trying to make things right. And says, like, Maya, I just want to apologize. It's like, you apologizing doesn't make it better. I understand you're a superhero, but it seems like you put in Ultraviolet before me. And what I have to say about this right here, where Maya has the right to be upset, and she also knows the risk about being Ultraviolet and being a superhero and stopping bad guys. She understands that part, but she's also a teenager, and she also has priorities where if a best friend promises something, he, she, or they would follow through with that promise. And Violet understands that too, but she's also a superhero. She's kind of committing to the job because the mask chose her. I mean, you kind of have to follow through on that. So, and, when she said, like, you chose your job over me. And yeah, that is kind of like a betrayal a little bit. And, but could you imagine if she didn't know the secret? But this is the way she kind of found out, like, I can't believe you didn't tell me, and this is why you've been flaking out on me. Ooh, oof. But she does kind of know. So, and, she's like, just leave it. The conversation did go longer, but I kind of want to kind of speed through this a bit. So, and Violet just kind of just leaves, and she goes back home. Well, no, sorry, she didn't go back home. She actually meets up with Cruz because Cruz is waiting for Catalina, and Catalina's wearing her Cascada outfit. Oh, okay, what's she up to? And she tells Cruz, like, it's off. Like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you why. I can't make it to dinner, but it's over. And like, she hangs up, and she's, I don't know, rob a bank or something. I don't know. Well, why are you wearing a mask? Why are you anti-hero? Who knows? I know she said, like, I grew up with a lot of rules and no use for them, but there's gotta be more than that. But obviously Violet goes to Cruz, and they both eating the stew that he planned for the 2-month anniversary between him and Catalina, and saying, hey, is everything okay with you, Maya? No. Is everything you okay with Catalina? Where is she? Like, no, she said it's over. Oh. And they're both eating their stews, and like, hey, if Maya gave up on you and his friend, but like, I really hope you work things out with her because she's really missing out. Like, you're a good kid. I love that. And how she says, like, oh, Catalina is missing on something too. And they're both eating the stew, and that's the end of the episode. I really feel like, in this episode, like, kind of like the beginning of the second half of the season, it's saying the good, stable relationship between an uncle and a niece, like, and a mentor and apprentice, I'm kind of scared of what's going to happen between Black Scorpion and Ultraviolet. But, like, they said something bad going to happen because they're kind of really, even though you lose friends, you lose girlfriends, family is forever. Like, and that's the end of the episode. I would give this a 75%. C+. This was a good comeback. It wasn't perfect, fantastic, or great or anything, but it was good. There were some things I just didn't like. The ringtone, and that one bad joke that Black Scorpion made, and Tiago, breaking through her phone, and then it got locked, and it's not going to come back later. So, and also with the dad saying like, kind of say, like, don't listen to her, like I know what actually happened. I didn't like that either. So, and also Violet and Tiago's dad eating that pizza that fell on the floor. There was a couple things that were just like, ugh, I just didn't like. But yeah, just I wonder what's gonna happen in the comments below. Do you think Cruz and Catalina are gonna get back together? Do you think Cruz slash Black Scorpion is gonna figure out Cascada's true identity, which is Cascada? Is he gonna figure that out? Are Violet and Maya gonna patch things up? These are the things I'm kind of wondering about. So in the comments below, what do you think? Yeah. Everyone, don't forget to, wait. Yeah, so everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, don't forget to share the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion Season 1, Episode 12. I forgot the episode title, but, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for that. Oh, also, don't forget to check out my, my mini reviews and my community posts. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow for episode 12. Alright. Bye.